talk about merch. I see a lot of people doing great work with the merchandising. You know, back in the day, it was dope with merch because people only charged cash for the merch. There were no places that were outlets where you could go and swipe. So in that way, you know, the tax man had nothing to do with it. But now, obviously, people are having pop-up stores with their merch at established places, so okay, whatever. That's one point. Another lovely thing about merch is how it has allowed niggas to expand to being entrepreneurial without having to do the music record label thing. Malume, I think, has the best merch in the business. He has started his online store, and I think time for online stores is now.
Yeah.
You know, he started his online store so anybody from anywhere can buy it. And because of what happened with him, he had to revive his audience. And it's coming through very nicely because even though the industry has a certain feeling towards him, when you see the kids buy it, take the photos, and he posts them.
And it sells quick.
It's like, yo, this guy's doing something, you know?
Yeah.
And Malume also gets to areas that hip-hop doesn't get to,
Yeah,
you know?
that's so true.
He's got a pop-up shop in Musgrave. Another smart thing was not putting a pop-up shop in Joburg.
Yeah, put it back in Durban.
Put it back in Durban. He had a bike raffle, a Spovagan bike.
Yeah.
In Durban, he has a surfboard up for raffle. For real.
And his merch is different. It's not just t-shirts. He's got towels. He's got scarves coming up. He's got like really, really like dope. different
Really
things.
dope. And then now, another one that stamped the merch thing for me was Youngster. Took all that money from the last year's run, invested it in a store.
Why apparel?
In Cape Town.
Yeah.
It's his apparel, it's
Shout
sneakers. Shout out. Like, for real. Dope work.
Yeah,
and I think we're saying, like, right now, if you're thinking, okay, let me get my music out there, you need a crew to shoot your stuff. If you're not thinking logo, how's my merch gonna look like? You're fumbling it. Because in America, they ran with it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get... Dudes' merch is more, it's not pricey, but it's more valued than a Nike t-shirt or whatever.
Like a Nipsey store.
Nipsey store, the Marathon.
The Marathon was huge, and I think apparently they even sold out like $2 million of their stock to the point where they had to close the shop after he passed away because they had to process that.
When I was there, the shop was closed.
To actually get it out.
You could check it out, but you couldn't.
And the shop was running
closed.
way before the album dropped. So you could see like he was on the streets making sure people still knew who Nipsey was before the music came out to kind of still build the rapport and the fan base to kind of support with the music as well. That's why when the album dropped, it also kind of carried itself
pushed it
as well. Yeah, it was really
merch
dope.
is definitely the way to go.
Spisa does that often as well. I see that with the singles.
Well, Pop Bottles merch. But you had Mayo. You had Mayo merch.
Combos communicating merch.
How did that do? Well, because I know at some point you were selling them individually, but then you also did the pop-up store.
Yeah.
How different is it for you to actually do it in a store compared to actually like physically giving it to people?
I think doing it in the store is a lot more tougher because you have things like rent and you have things of, they take a little bit of a percentage of how much the t-shirt costs, etc., etc. But funny, we speak about this. I just opened a new store. It's called the Skate Hub. Right? So this is like an e-commerce store, and I'll have like all the exclusive in terms of like skateboarding needs. Like there's no skateboarding shops in South Africa, so it's an online store. But
wait, there is a skateboarding shop in South Africa, but not here.
There are a few, but there aren't many. So this is an online store, but
crazy.
I do have a flagship store opening on the 1st of September in Parktown. So if you want to come,
so we're shooting from there, right?
You can come shoot from the store.
Oh my gosh!
So e-commerce is the best
It's the way to go,
the best way to do it, and the more you do, the cheaper it becomes.
So what are we selling? What are you selling on the store?
I'm selling everything: skateboards, all skateboarding material, skateboarding shoes, skateboarding sneakers.
That's crazy.
That's amazing.
Pop-ups if you guys have merch.
So if I've got my own merch, can I come to you and just?
And we work out a deal.
So you're going to charge me rent as well?
Yeah.
I mean, of course,
I have a question. Someone once said on social media that the moment someone brings merch into a retail store, so maybe you want to sample at like an Edgar's or a Shesha or whatever the case may be, that puts you in exposure of it being duplicated or like getting the fakes out. Doesn't that happen with Cash Time as well?
But I think with Cash Time,
that's
I know
a
who the
different level
culprits
though,
are.
yeah?
guys,
Yobalanda.
they copy Louis Vuitton, they copy Gucci, they copy
everything.
Nike.
You can't stop it,
They
but
copy
I think-
Vapor. You're going to get.
I think
and
for
actually, getting bitten is a sign that you're doing the right thing.
But also remember this. Sorry, there's a difference between merch and actually starting like a clothing brand. Because if you take an example of Cash Time Life at the time, you take an example of Luxury Culture. You know, those are brands who were trying to be clothing brands, which also worked with distributors. So the plan was
KO was doing it now. It's kind of world. Isn't it like available
at
across
Studio 88,
Studio
where the plan is to have it distribute like major numbers, you know,
right.
then it's bound to be duplicated. But I think merch is something a little bit more different. Because you do 20 garments and that's it, you know.
For that song,
yeah,
or
or
that
whatever,
tour.
and that's it, yeah.
How does that help you sell the single?
It's not necessarily only for the single, you know. I mean, if you're in fashion, you know, like the way he explains about Malum, you know, it's not necessarily about I'm a cameraman shooter, but Spova Gang as a movement,
It's
you know.
extension of brand.
Yeah, and you also, like, if you look at his merch, he'll explain to you why he's got 3 ones there, you know. There's so many things that interlink, but it's because he's in fashion. That's why he only makes 50 of the 50 garments, and that's it, you know. So it's not necessarily like, I make music, I have to make merch. You also need to understand what you're doing.
Yeah, because then some people are going to make some shitty T-shirts and then now
I mean, you
they
have
want
to do that. I make shitty t-shirts as
You
well.
start somewhere.
Yeah, you gotta make sure.
But you have, like, it's a great extension of your brand. And in anything, you look at things like armies, you know, to build your, whatever, as a musician, you're building your party. You're a low-key politician. You're building your following. So if you want your army to be dressed and represent you wherever they're at, it's another way of just claiming your sector of society and saying, "Good, this is how I'm doing."
I think for me also another dope thing is that like as an artist you just don't concentrate on, before it was just physicals, right? Now you've moved to the streaming, you've moved to downloads, and now it's like this merch and now there's brand endorsements, so you always have to find other ways of revenue just to grow your brand stronger.
Exactly. And that goes back to the conversation we had about your appearance.
Yeah.
You know,
You have
brand,
to.
once
You
you
have
look
to,
good,
without a doubt.
so they can work with you.
Yeah,
That's actually where the merch comes from. It's because the artist will brand his jacket, will brand his T-shirt. Then the kids will be like, "Yeah, but I also want one."
Yes.
And it makes sense for you to just make
And it's all,
it.
and in the long run, it also works out for you if you're kind of branding yourself, because then you're creating something cool. You're creating a bit of a cult where the brands want to get involved, as opposed to you co-signing something that already exists, where they're going to give you peanuts for that, whereas they're jumping onto your wave. And it kind of, still builds your rapport.
You look nice with the orange makeup, with the orange. Yo, you looking good.
Yo,
Thanks,
you should check out the shoes. They
Thanks,
the tinsel toes out here.
I think
We out
also
here.
one of the dope things I've also picked up is like in the next 10 years, you will be able to whop up the T-shirt and be like, yo, I once lived this.
Exactly.
That's what I'm doing now.
right?
I'm collecting
you're collecting one of
the
those, right?
not high end, but every artist that is dope that I know will last a long time, and in 20 couple of years time we'll be talking about him. That's what I'm doing. I'm collecting the memorabilia.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Concept merch.
You understand?
Yeah.
And speaking of what merch has become, you remember Nicki Minaj and Travis? They had the little feud because even merch was being counted as album sales. It was a huge thing, man, when Travis got #1 over Nicki. Nicki was like, you didn't tell me the rules have changed. Good to now you're even counting merch as an album sale, and that's what's happening overseas.
Nikki also went through a very bitter
probably
stage.
made the shut up.
I don't think
know,
so.
was it out?
No, it was
That's-
a real thing.
Okay.
It was a real thing. It was a real thing.
It was a real thing, but I like what you said there about you saying that you're collecting merch from the ones who you think are gonna last longer.
A big call and an urge for everybody to like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment if you have anything that you would like to say concerning a specific topic right here on POPcast. Also, do follow us on Twitter and on Instagram at POPcast for real. Danke.